Hi guys, welcome back. I'm Maya with Simply Bloom. I wanted to come out here and do a little July garden tour. I have been insanely busy lately. I have not been able to keep up on maintenance. Things need to get deadheaded. There's a few weeds here and there, so keep that in mind. But there's so many pretty things right now that I want to show you. I thought about doing a bunch of maintenance videos, but I just don't have time. So I'm like, I have a short time. I'm gonna run out, just show you a few pretty things for the month of July, and then we will get started on the maintenance. So this bed here is looking absolutely glorious. We have kind of like a middle island. I call it the teardrop in our driveway. The driveway goes on either side, there and there. And we have 6 hydrangea standards along the outside, just starting to bud up. I think the first 2 here and there get the most sun, so they're a little bit further along. The others do get kind of like dappled shade. So I have a phantom hydrangea here, phantom, and then it goes limelight. It's behind the maple, you can't really see. And then we have another phantom, and behind the fountain there is another phantom. So they're just starting to come along, starting to look really pretty. And then in between each of the standards we have whiskey barrels, and this is like my favorite. Oh, and yep, here's the weeds I was talking about. This is my favorite combination I have ever done in these barrels. So we have a purple fountain grass in the middle, and then alternating we have lemon coral sedum and the bullseye salmon geranium. And I love this geranium because of the leaf. Has that deep burgundy with the green margin on the outside. The burgundy matches the purple fountain grass so beautifully. I absolutely love it. And then here in this bed, I love that Ligularia. It's a Desdemona Ligularia, absolutely gorgeous. We have a rock garden, which needs some maintenance. I see some weeds, but you know, it's looking fairly pretty there. The star of the show for sure are the tiger lilies. Absolutely beautiful, and they kind of stretch all the way around. Oh, we have some Veronica. I can't remember what Veronica variety this is, but the Veronica and the bee balm, the pollinators absolutely love. And then I do have a hardy mom. This is a lavender. Is it lavender? I think it's just lavender mom. Not supposed to be blooming right now. I think you're supposed to cut them back like in June. I didn't do, but it is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. We have some Ritro Echinops that are just barely starting to color up. I really don't like the leaf structure. You know, it's like a type of thistle. Don't like the foliage on that, but I do like the blooms. I love using them in flower arrangements. And then this side of the bed kind of repeats itself from over there. So more tiger lilies, more Veronica, more Monarda or bee balm. I do have some stargazer lilies there. I planted them this year. I don't know if they're gonna flower for me. We have some delphiniums. These stay shorter. They only get about that tall, which I really like because all my other delphiniums tipped over. And then they have a really lacy leaf structure. I think it was like Blue Diamonds, I think is the name. And Echinacea, which I am currently enjoying, but I think I'm going to take all my Echinacea out. I've already taken out another 7 Echinacea that had the Astor's yellow disease, and I just can't seem to get rid of it, and I just keep losing Echinacea one after another. So I'm thinking about just ripping them all out. And then we have just this really pretty hardy geranium there. Oh, there's a tag. Hold on. I didn't realize I kept the tag. Cranesbill, Johnson's Blue. And it does get quite a bit of shade, which they can tolerate part shade. If I had it in more full sun, it would probably bloom more and be a little bit tighter, more thick, not quite so wispy. So coming further down the driveway, we have this annual bed. Now we have a couple wave petunias. The lighter pink is the bubblegum pink from Proven Winners. That darker pink is also Proven Winners variety. I just can't remember what it is. We have some potato vine. We have some sun patience there. We have a container dahlia, which has bloomed. So pretty. And I love this is a creeping phlox. It's brilliant pink flowers in the spring, and then it's just a really nice green texture piece in the summer. We have coleus, which is really pretty. And then I love this salvia. It's a purple salvia from Proven Winners. Absolutely love it. And then we have a horse statue with an arbor. This is a blue diamonds blue spruce. And then on either side we have container dahlias, which that one's blooming over there. I'll get a close up in a second. And then Jack Manny clematis on either side. And I do a lot with cardboard. You can see I was extending the bed back, and I need to finish laying down mulch over top of the cardboard. I have the mulch, I just need to do it. It's really hard with little kids. I do what I can here and there. And this is the not clematis. This is the container dahlia, the bloom. Super duper pretty. Right here is my beautiful rock garden, one of my favorite spots on my garden currently. We had this pile of rocks that I absolutely hated. Weeds were growing through, it was crazy. So I turned it into something I loved I put potting soil in the crevices of the rocks, and then I planted. So we have a silver mound, creeping Jenny is in there. Lots of lamium. We have different types of sedum. Really, really pretty. Moving on, we have ajuga, lilies. This is wildberry heuchera. Lots of Jacob's ladder that has self-seeded. Lots of lamium here. We have some more cranesbill. I think this is Visions Violet, hardy geraniums. I have a really pretty phlox there, tall garden phlox. I just planted it. I am the worst with names. It makes me quite frustrated that I can't remember the names. Something fuchsia, kapow fuchsia, I think it is. And we have some really pretty Gerber daisies, some really pretty blue lobelia, which was blooming better a few days ago. We had quite a major rainstorm. Everything's kind of battered down. I have some ridiculous coleus. I really thought they were going to get bigger than they are. It is quite a bit of shade, so that's probably one thing. And I planted them and they did nothing for like a month and a half, and they just started blooming. And then I also have some just pretty begonias right there. Over here, I just planted this bed in a few videos, like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. We have a little haughty hydrangea that's just starting to bud up. Really pretty orange rocket barberry. I love this little spruce. Type of blue spruce, I can't remember the variety. Really, really pretty. And I'm kind of trying to control the milkweed. It was completely covering this whole section. I pulled a bunch out. I'm trying to keep it right there. But it's called milkweed for a reason. It just spreads crazy, crazy fast. It's a really pretty Asiatic lily, about past its prime, but still really pretty. Here's a potentilla that I have surprisingly been absolutely loving. This is the Mandarin Tango, and here's a coralberry, or a coral bell that I want to plant there. But I just love this. I never thought I would ever like potentilla, but I really, really love that one. Here's some bee balm, pretty much past its prime. This is the rock and raspberry sugar buzz. Really, really pretty. I have allium that is just starting to open. Some gorgeous monarda there. Some veronica just opening. I just love how this bed's turning out. Back in black sedum there. You can see I have salvia that needs to get cut back. I do have a evening rose hardy hibiscus. Didn't come back real strong. We got like one little stem coming up, but I'm hoping I'll get some blooms off of that. My Goldstrom rudbeckia is just starting to open as well. We have some autumn fire sedum back there in front of Bleeding Heart's Heliopsis. I absolutely love this. The dark leaves with the bright flowers. I love it. This one does not spread quite as bad as the older Heliopsis, but I do occasionally get a self-seeded sprout coming up, which I love. Then over here, I have an Oh So Easy double red rose. I love this. If you ever see it, any of the Oh So Easy roses, get it. Because they will bloom non-stop. You do not have to deadhead them like other roses. They will just pump out blooms. Here is a yellow lupin. We have some hardy geraniums that are done blooming. It's so sad. I can't remember if I showed you that in a different video. Here is a Neptune catmint. I love this catmint. It has a little bit more stockier stems, a little bit more sturdy, beautiful flowers, and the bees love it. Here's another Veronica blooming really pretty. Some more bee balm. Here's a really pretty heuchera. What is it? Black cherry cake. Oh, guys, I need to get signs. I need to get signs out so bad. Really, really pretty blooms, deep, pretty foliage. Underside's beautiful. Here's another bleeding hearts heliopsis. Here's an iceberg sage leaf willow. Half of it kind of died back on me. I'm not sure why, but I really love that icy blue foliage, and it's almost like velvety. I really like that. Every time I show this, I get warnings of people saying, beware, it's gonna get massive and send up suckers. This is a cherry on top sorbaria. It's been planted here for 3 years and I don't see any suckers. This is the biggest it's got. It kind of dies back quite far every winter, so I'm hoping that is enough to keep it in check. Because I struggle with sumac everywhere, popping up in all my flower beds, and I don't want to struggle with another thing. So I'm hoping, being in zone 3 northern Minnesota, it will keep this in check a little bit more. But I do really like it. It's starting to bloom. It gets like these white blooms on it. And the new growth is kind of like a reddish yellow. Really, really pretty. I have this bed here. I've done like no weeding, no mulching in this bed this far. I saw someone ask earlier, I planted boxwood basil. Someone asked if I ever planted it out. This is what it's doing. It's not doing incredibly well. This one's kind of bushing up more. It does smell really, really good. They struggled. They fried in my seed containers. I didn't get them out real early in the season. And I just, I haven't shown them enough love. So I think if they would not have fried, and I haven't been fertilizing them probably like I should either. We've gotten so much rain, where I'm just worried about adding more moisture and just rotting things out. So they haven't been getting fertilizer. They didn't get planted out when they should have. So they're looking a little bit sad. Maybe I'll try again. I'll give them one more year next year. But that's an update on that. Here's an echinacea. I had 2 of these. I just ripped one out right in front because that one had Astor's yellow. I really like these though because they kind of get the tufts on the top. So like a double petal with tufts on top as the blooms mature. I really like that. I have a delphinium that got tipped over in the rain, and this is very interesting. I thought I only planted one plant right there, and it comes up with the dark blue, comes up white like I just showed you, and then I think it also had a light blue as well. So I'm not sure how that happened. Obviously I must have planted a clump of 3. I just don't remember, but kind of fun to get. The light blue starts blooming first, and then it's the dark blue, and then the white follows. So it's kind of fun to have 3 different colors. Asiatic lily, I love. If you guys ever find a Niobe clematis, get it. It blooms nonstop all summer long, but I am so impressed with this clematis. We have a dark side of the moon astilbe that's just starting to bloom. It doesn't do crazy well here, but it is a nice deep foliage. And then the blooms that I do get, which aren't a lot, but the ones that I do get are really, really pretty. And then once they age, they kind of turn like this golden color, which I really like to use in arrangements. More golds from Rebecca. We have some ajuga. There is a rose there. It's pretty eaten. and no buds on it currently, but there is one hiding there. Some really pretty campanula, bellflower. And we have a strawberry, I always say it backwards, it's either vanilla strawberry or strawberry vanilla hydrangea that are just starting to bloom. This is a fairly new garden bed that I've just started developing. So far, I really like how it's turning out. That wagon is there because, like I mentioned, we got a pretty big rainstorm and those lilies were completely flopped over. Like on the ground, and I was worried the stems were going to break. So I propped them up on the kids' wheelbarrow. This is a Samantha lily, and oh my goodness, so gorgeous. All of them are Samanthas. So Samantha, Samantha, and Samantha. Although this one over here doesn't quite look as deep of a pink color. It hasn't fully opened yet, but from what I can tell, it looks a little bit more of a pale pink, which is fine by me. Still really, really pretty. A orange rocket barberry. My husband loved those, so he bought me 4 this year to put in the garden because that's just how much he loved them. Here's a coral jade sedum I just planted. I'm really excited to see that just fill in and get really, really pretty. But yeah, so this bed's looking pretty good. Oh, and a little hottie hydrangea, and then that's our horse's hay back there. We cover it with a tarp so it doesn't get wet. So yeah, our smoke bush this year is absolutely incredible. We haven't got the blooms on it for the last several years because typically it dies back almost to the ground. Like it'll die back except for like 1 to 2 feet, and then it'll just kind of push new growth. So this is the first time in years we have gotten blooms because smoke bush blooms on old wood. So if it's dying back really far every year, you're losing those old wood blooms. But it's absolutely glorious. I absolutely love it. I've had lots of people ask me what variety it is. It's just like one of the old versions smoke bush. And then we have quick fire hydrangeas that are just starting to open. These smell so good. I love the way they smell. Not a whole lot of blooms this year. I'm not sure why. And you can see I did not get them deadheaded. So we have a lot of old blooms from last year. Typically I feel like we get more blooms than this. I'm not sure. I have another one over here. We just have some 9 barks. We have some viburnum. Here's another one. This one's doing a little bit better. Oh, it smells so good. And pollinators love it. There's lots of like little flies and stuff. Got some hornets. Yeah, they love it. This shade bed is looking really good. We have a little rocket ligularia, a bunch of hostas, virginias. This is the white snake root, starting to get its bloom stalk there. Some astilbes, just lots of hostas, bleeding hearts. This hosta self-seeded there. So that's kind of fun. I just kind of left it there. But it's self-seeded from the parent plants. So we're going to get a mix of some. And it kind of repeats just more hostas, another snake root, and then a little rocket ligularia. This one gets a lot more sun than the other side of the bed, so that's why this one's blooming first. Along the garage, it's kind of not a lot. I mean, there's a lot here, but kind of out of season. We have autumn joy sedum, dark reader hardy geranium that's self-seeded from this one, and it just got done blooming, but it has really pretty purple blooms on it. We have a Russian sage, which I would like to replace this one with the Proven Winners one. That stays a little bit more stocky. It doesn't flop on you. We have a yarrow. I believe that's the firefly yarrow. Just really pretty yellow and really pretty daylily. I've really taken a liking to daylilies the last couple of years. And this is the other side of the garage. It kind of repeats itself. We do have a daylily. It's not blooming. Part of a clematis bloom, more Russian sage, some echinacea, another firefly's yarrow. This is the cobalt liatris. It's my favorite variety of liatris. Stays a little bit smaller. I don't notice it spreading quite like the old ones do. Really, really pretty. I really love that one. A little bit more compact. Love it. And I believe this is the Cheyenne Spirit echinacea. And then coming over here, Asiatic lilies. The pink one blooms last, so all the other ones are kind of fading out. We have some pretty balloon flowers, some Shasta daisies. Again, I lined this bed with more of the dianthus. This is a really pretty Asiatic lily. foxglove is starting to push up a bloom stalk. I had 2 phlox here, one there and one there, and I thought they died, so I planted penstemons there to replace it with. And I just saw like a week ago that there is still in fact some phlox there and phlox right here. So I'm probably gonna move the penstemon, or I might move the phlox. This is part shade back here. I think the phlox would be a little bit happier with more of a full shade situation. I think penstemon can handle a little bit more shade than the phlox can. So I might dig up that phlox. I've brought it up before though, if you think you have a plant that died, leave it in the ground. Give it time. Sometimes it wants to sleep a little bit longer. I've had things that I thought were dead, and then in like June or July, they wake up and start pushing new growth. So keep that in mind. If you really, really want to get rid of it, fine. But I think what happens here is the last few winters, we get pretty cold zone through northern Minnesota. We have like an early warm up, and then it'll be warm for like a week, and then instantly back freezing cold. And I don't know, it messes with the plants. They're kind of like, oh, it's time to wake up, and then like, oh, it's winter time, and you go back to sleep for like 6 months. I don't know if that's a thing, but it screws them up. So keep that in mind. Give your plants time if you think they're dead, just to make sure they're actually really dead. I believe this is a Monet Weigelia or Weigela, depending on where you're from. You say it different. I love the variegated leaves, and then they do get kind of like a pinkish tinge to them. So pretty. We have a Patriots hostas back there. Another foxglove and more of the pink diamonds dicentra with amber jubilee 9 bark. We have to cut this one back. They get like 9 feet tall. This is poor placement. It should not have been planted here. So we do have to whack it back pretty consistently to keep it kind of a manageable size, but it is pretty. And then I think this is the last year we have a limelight hydrangea standard. Half of it is dead. We cut it out. It's kind of struggling, but we do have blooms. We will get blooms, but I think this is the last year for this hydrangea standard. All right, you guys, that is it for this tour. I skipped over a lot. I probably skipped over almost half of my garden. I was just hitting the highlights. I have to go though, but I hope this gives you kind of an idea of some of the beautiful things that are in my garden for the month of July. That is it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.